Welcome to the History Hunter. Welcome to our small adventures with the World War II time frame. Today, I'm going to share a very special story with you, and it's all because of one single tiny little image that I saw so many years ago. This image here burnt into the back of my head, and I forgot it for many years, and then suddenly it returned, and I said to myself, what is that? And also, where is it and why is it there? That's a German World War II battlefield grave or cemetery, whatever you like to call it. But it was so intriguing, so I just had to dig into that story and figure out three things. Why is it there? Where is it? And can it be found today? This is a quest out of the ordinary, and I will invite you to come along and see this for yourself because it's a very special story. This incredible scene is the background for that little image of the German World War II soldier cemetery. This is the backdrop of what happened. The Germans, around 150 soldiers, QYSea, normal here, infantry, they came up here. And they didn't know that the local army was waiting for them right here with machine guns, mortars, hand grenades, and hundreds, if not thousands of rounds of munition ready. So the target or the objective for the Germans was to come this way here and clear out this area. Little did I know that their opponents were very efficient. They were they knew the area, they knew the nature, and they knew exactly where to hit the Germans. I guess one of the images which really kind of sits in my back head is this image here. That could very well have been right here. Just imagine you're coming up here and suddenly thousands of rounds were fired upon you with a machine gun, and there's nowhere to hide. Just behind those tiny rocks, some of them are actually still here today, but that was basically the only thing you could kind of use as a shelter. And the enemy knew so very well exactly where you were, and they could really get you. And very special thing to be here. You can see here, you can kind of imagine this hill up here, the soldiers cramped behind their rocks, very narrow road, and the only way to get up here was on that road. The local army had blasted the ice at two separate positions. And that made it impossible to go over that mountain, and to go over that mountain was no plan whatsoever, because it was not possible to get up there, and neither could you get up there. So the locals knew that exactly, and they knew exactly what they were going to do, and that's what happened. So now we're walking together down towards the area where there are some leftovers of the original road, and that is what we are kind of here for. I'm also going to take you down to another location to show you a very absolutely amazing image that proves to you what happened here, and it's spectacular. But I just wanted you to have the opportunity to actually see the old road, you could say. So now we have come down to what used to be the road that you saw in the pictures, and believe me, I'm not gonna go too far, because this place looks like a freaking nightmare. But the thing is, it's been closed for many, many years, and you can see the reason for that. Insanely huge boulders coming down from here, hundreds of meters up there, and that is what's going on here. But this is the exact road and the exact kind of line where the road went before. It is very, very narrow, but during those days it was even narrower. And what they had on the outside here were just rocks, as you saw, and then on the inside there's the mountainside, and there was no way out, there was no retreat, there was no place to run. And that is what the local army knew so very well, that when the Germans first came to this road, there were no way back, absolutely no way back. And just imagine being Hans, Wilhelm or Friedrich or whoever was here. Around 150 German soldiers came up here, 12 of them never returned, and that's our goal, to find the initial resting place where these soldiers were buried. And when you come down here, the road continues, and you can see from today's standard, this is insane. You cannot use this, but this was used for more than 35 years as it is. But you can imagine how much work it must have been to keep this place together when things like that, you see here, that's just insane. Oh my God, I'm gonna show you something here. Look at that, see that? So I'm gonna see if I can get you a little bit further out like that. So you have to understand the image here to see how it used to be, because it's not like that anymore. But this is the path that the German soldiers had to drag themselves onwards to and towards the enemy. Oh my God, it looks like a freaking battlefield. Down there, it is so insane that I don't even want to go there. But I just wanted you to see this here. And we're now going in the opposite way. As I said, we're going backwards, but this is the opposite way. The Germans, they would come this way. And you can see that absolutely terrifying rock. Oh my goodness. Once upon a time, they tried to use some kind of nets here. That is not strong enough whatsoever. And that's still hanging there. But that thing just proves to you how dangerous and how difficult it must have been to be a German soldier here, coming up here in 1940, not knowing what is here, where is the enemy, and then being ambushed like that up there. And you can see the rail here. That is crazy stuff. So this is the view the German soldier will have. He will come up here on this incredibly narrow road. There's no way you can ever, even with a good set of binoculars, there's no way you can anticipate that there's a massive enemy up there. But there was. And also, now you can see how easy it was for the local army to take you out, because they were up there. Let me get you in there. They were all the way up there where the huge boulders are. See that? And when you came down here, or walked up here, there were no protection walls. It was just this single rock standing upside. And then the local army waited to the right point, and then they started to fire at you when you were up there. And that is why the Germans lost so many men so quickly, and then they had to retreat back this way here. For our next leg here, this is what I need. I need a really good helmet, and I need a bike, because we are going to go the simplest way possible the rest of the way. It's going to be a few kilometers to ride that, but I think the Germans came in here by foot. They had some few vehicles, they had to leave them behind and then have to march in this road. So that's exactly what we're going to do as well. Also, let me show you something here. There is beauty here, absolute beauty. You can see the rainbow there, coming from this mountain there, where the water is drizzling down from probably a couple of hundreds of meters up. There's another one there. So there is beauty here. But imagine during those days, this road so much narrower, April month, ice on the lake, must have been hell, absolute hell. There's also something else here which is very, very dangerous. I'm going to show you that further over there. See that? That is a guard rail to protect you from going over the edge there. But it's torpedoed by repeatedly rocks coming down from the mountainside. And you can even see water drizzling above here. And you can see this area is completely wet because the water is actually drizzling from the mountainside, boom, onto that. And that is why I'm wearing a helmet. It's the smallest little safety precaution I can do, because there's nothing else I can do. Either I stay out of here or I go in and I share great history with you. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to pedal on. I'm going to go very quickly through this little passage, and then I'm going to meet you at a very special spot. Wow, I crossed the old tunnel without a flashlight. That was scary. And this, oh, I can see it now. The whole mountainside has come down there. Oh my goodness, why am I doing this? The whole mountainside has come down, but this is where the original road was. It's also been just kind of hammered down with rocks. Oh my God, look at that. That pile right there has come down from the mountainside and completely shuts off the whole continuation of that. And I can see that's fresh. I'm not going to even get near there. But this is basically the only piece of the original tunnel, sorry, the original road, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. And that is absolutely spectacular. So the German soldiers were walking right here, not knowing what was going to hit them. Up there, that was where the enemy was waiting. You can now see we come away from the attack. So we're going to go all the way back to the cemetery, and then you have taken part in this very special story. But this is where the Germans came. Now I'm going to show you something which I find absolutely spectacular. Are you ready for it? Notice the this thing here, but notice specifically that one and this thing here. Are you ready? That's the spot. And what is down there? That's actually a Pak 36. A German anti-tank gun, which once upon a time stood right here. And you can see when I overlay the picture almost like that, it's a perfect match. So this is one of those moments where you can actually take part in the German soldiers' kind of action and their faith, because from here and onwards 12 guys lost their lives. I'm not so sure whether some of them lost their lives actually right here, but there are a lot of traces of war activity right here. You can see in one of our videos, or my video, I actually take my Fifish V6 Expert ROV underwater drone and launch it there, and I found something absolutely spectacular just laying down there. And then afterwards I got this crazy idea. I wanted to metal detect this area, and boy oh boy did that pay off. This whole little area here had pretty much any secrets you can imagine from the German war machine, and that is because the Germans hid behind this. So you can see, if they were firing from up there, all the way up from there, guess what you can do? You can go behind here and you're safe. And that's exactly what I found out, because there are several WW2 artifacts here, and one of the most fantastic artifacts are actually, I'm almost 100% sure about it, is actually 100% related to this. Come on, started to blow. This moment here, where that anti-tank gun fired rounds. And guess what we found? Well, you just have to watch that video. I will put a link in the video description. And you can see those. If you want to check out part 1 first, then you get a much better context of part 2. I can promise you, you won't regret it. But this is where the really tough part for the German soldiers started, because they were now going into some of the areas there where they were very vulnerable and couldn't hide whatsoever. So now we moved even further back. Now you can barely see the position of the local army waiting for the Germans, but they came in here, and there's a very special feature here that I actually want to share with you. So it's just behind me, but look at the nature here. It is crazy. It is absolutely the most spectacular you can ever imagine. During the first hours of the clash, I've read in a report that the Germans had 3 casualties, and they actually used this little cave, whatever you like to call it, to treat their casualties. They put them down here and waiting for a truck that they kind of required from a farmer. And this has got to be the one, because it said it was just like a few meters away from the road, and you can see it's basically like a cave. And I guess the German soldiers were laying just here, maybe in there, I'm not sure. This is absolutely spectacular to see that this place is actually mentioned, and now we're seeing it. Crazy stuff. So now we're getting to the end of our story. We've been doing it backwards. We started at the battle position. This is where the Germans came. Some came on horse trolleys. Some came on trucks. Some came by foot. But they all had one purpose. Let's go into that area where we just came from. But they stopped here, they regrouped, and there were plans of going around this mountain. They just scrapped that. There was plans to going around that mountain. They scrapped that. So they only had one choice, and that was to go through the road that we have just been on. So 412 of these guys, they never made it. They never came back. And the Germans, as you saw in that picture, made this beautiful cemetery, and they made a salute for them, and they continued on. So all we have to do now is to see, does the cemetery still exist? So let's see if we can find some clues of that. So now we are at this position here. Why are we that? Well, that's because of that. That is right there. A lot of vegetation has come, but what does the German sign says? Basically it says to the German war graves. And that means somebody are pointing up to the right. Is that the place where the cemetery were or is? Well, that's what we had to find out. But that sign told me something, and took a lot of time to figure out what that was. This is what it used to look like in 1940. This is the same place today. This is the German war grave. We found it. We found what used to be the last resting place of the German soldiers fighting here. It's not anymore because the graves were removed, but the graveyard is actually still there. Take a little note and check out that thing there, this top of that one. Well, guess what? That is exactly that one. And there's a notch in this one, that one, and that notch is actually visible in the first second one on the right there. So this is what it used to look like. These are the soldiers commemorating their comrades. They made the cemetery and they gave their life for their fatherland. I don't know, kind of special. Kind of special to be here. Kind of special to take you along on this journey back in time. For me, it was very learningful. I learned a lot about what it would be to be a soldier during those days in such conditions. I also learned a lot about comrades, Kameraden. Soldiers do take care of soldiers, and this is the best way they could do it. And it looks really beautiful actually. 12 graves. These 12 men never came back to their family, their loved ones, their children. They gave their life for what they thought would be right, I don't know. But nevertheless, this is history, and it's remarkable how it can touch us, how it can engage us, how we can learn from it. And I have to say, this was a great experience, actually. I would never be without it, and I don't know, makes me emotional. Because all of these men here were humans, just like you and me. And in the end, it's all about being humans. But sometimes stupid people create wars. And that's just what things ends up with, dead people. Dead humans, dead men and women. Well, all right. What can I say? Hope you enjoyed it. I did my best to convey to you something that you probably never ever seen before. And we did it together. I'm proud for that. I'm honored and proud that you're here with us. Thank you for supporting us. If you want to help us out to reach more people, we have this tiny little thing called Super Thanks. That little feature enables us to get some stuff onto the gas tank and go out and explore and find more. So be our guest if you want to help us out. Thank you all our Patreon team members for being out there for us. Absolutely incredible to see the great support from our team. Thank you each and every one of you, and to all of you who donate on PayPal. It is greatly appreciated and enables us to go out and find locations like this. And I am very honored and proud to have done this in this manner and fashion. And I hope you learned something from it. Okay, to each and every one of you, stay safe, keep smiling, and I will definitely see you later.